Hey y'all, we are here. I have two ring lights on each side of my phone. I have my phone landscape, the light in the back, the light up there behind the TV, and I do have the curtains open. So y'all know this is how it goes. When I am not in my natural habitat, I gotta do the best I can with the lighting that I have today. And also I'm like disoriented because of where stuff goes. Today we're going to use the Natasha Denona Xenon palette. I saw a look on Instagram from the Love of My Life, Hung Van Gogh. Of course, it was with Composed Cools, which I have, but that is not one of the palettes that I pulled out to bring with me. And I realized we're here 3 days and not 4, and I brought 4 eyeshadow palettes with me, so something will not get used. It'll still get used, but not here because we're here. Today is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 3 palettes, right? So we have an extra one, so we'll do that on Monday, I guess. I do have one of Glow Drops, the B Goldie whatever from Drunk Elephant. I don't like how it makes me shiny. I mixed it with my moisturizer, which does cause it to dry down. When I was just putting it on my skin, it was not drying down. So we'll see. It's still gonna look glowy, excuse me, after we do the foundation and primer and powder down, but I'm trying to see if I like it. I know I don't like the bronze one. This should be a separate video. I know I don't like the bronzy ones because it makes my face to me look like mud. So I'm not gonna use those. And I thought to use the blush drops today, and I'm like, no, because just no. So what on Instagram, he did a cut crease look, and he put the number, well, he would put an arrow to the shade and put where he put it on the lid, and I love that. And that's what I used to go by when I did the Brilliant Blue look. That was very beautiful. That has not aired yet, I don't think, as of this video airing. So he had like a shimmer gray on the lid, and the lid looked light, so I'm thinking something like this one, but y'all know I want to go darker. These washcloths Blvd went. So I'm kind of thinking this one, to be honest with you. We'll put this in and deepen it. We'll see. So he had a shimmer gray on the lid, and he had a black cut crease. The only one in here that's described as a black, I believe, is Night Sky. These two are blue based. So we're gonna do a cut crease without cutting the crease like YouTube teaches us. We're going to cut the crease how they do it and how I did it for the academy, and when I redid it, my tutor loved it. So you don't have to do all those things, but you know, that's where that's at. But I do think we're going to cut the crease first because I need to make sure that when I'm looking straight, and I apologize that it looks more so like I'm looking way over here this time than at home, and it's because of how my phone is angled on this tripod, and this is a tripod I use for traveling. I don't bring the ones from home because I don't want to keep adjusting, readjusting, because then you'll strip the nuts and all of that. So I need to be sure to, and looking down here is not going to help because the mirror down here is angled. So looking up, I need to make sure that I cut it up here. And so we will probably, excuse me, lay that line first. And then he used a gray black for the crease and lower lash line. So we might just dip into one of these blue based this one and one of these blue based blacks. And then he had a white for his brow arch. We may just use this shiny shade, which is Stellar, to do that thin line, and I don't have a brush for that because I brought my Sigma brush book and those brushes live in there, so what's in there is what's in there. So we may do this, and he also put it on the lid, and so that's why I'm thinking put this on the lid for the gray shimmer and then laying this on it afterwards. And so that's the look. So just to recap super quick, he had a shimmer gray on the lid, black cut crease, a gray black in the crease and on lower lash line, and a white brow arch, and he put that same white shade on the lid. So that's what we're going to do. Of course, it's not going to look like what he does because of the eye shape of his talent. We call it the model's talent. And so I'm looking to see if I have another brush that I can do for the cut crease. But I do think we're just going to use this one here. I'm looking in here at what I have. And that appears to be the best option. Okay, so let me put the brush book away. And this lives in my carry-on suitcase, so I never have to be like, oh my gosh, what brushes to take? Where's the brush book? So, we're gonna do a full face. I thought just do the face and then do the eye look, but then I said, you know what, let's just do it all since I have to do it anyway. There will be timestamps down below, so if you do want to skip, you are more than free to move about the cabin. Of course, I would like for you to stay and to watch the entirety of this video, but I also know some people do prefer shorter videos, and some people are just busy, and it's like, girl, I don't have an hour to sit with you today. I understand. We're going to use, I'm looking for my stuff, and everything's in front of me, but it's because it's not where it normally is because I'm not home. And so this is the NY11 from Natasha. We're going to use this brush. This is a Real Techniques. This is one of the purple handle ones I mentioned. It might have been my full face tutorial when I said I like the orange ones and the purple handle ones. And I don't know what number this is. This is taking up too much time. This says Crease Prep Brush. That's what this says. I like it for down here. So we're going to just spread this out under here. I apologize, this mirror is, well, the mirror is really low, and it's not really something I can apologize for because it is what it is. I forget which one I brought with me before because it was like right up under my phone, and I had to tilt the phone a certain way not to hit it. Y'all see my stuff in the back. Y'all, that's that YouTube cooler. I told you, they send very practical stuff. And I did, as you see, I did bring it. I had stuff in it. I tried to make it neat in the back because I do not like clutter. And there's my laptop over there. Hit it. Primer, foundation. 2 pumps of the foundation. 1 pump of the Luminous Hydrating, whichever is called, foundation. Both of these are from Fenty. I feel like I'm going to be stammering and stuff a lot because I am rushing. I do have some time. We're going to make our soup. I used to always say that, soup, and then I stopped saying that. I'm just like, oh, we're just going to mix it. And this is a Sephora brush. This is a Pro Flawless brush number 56. And I do have the mini ones. I think I have a mini one of this one. No, because that one is angled. And that's like whatever number, 0.5, because it's the half size. And so we're gonna put this here. Yo, something happened that I noticed yesterday, and I believe it was a misunderstanding because it's similar to a situation that happened before. Like I said something in video joking, and y'all know, I can be jokey, and I can just be like, "Oh, what?" I forgot to do my brows. And people took it seriously, even though they were people that we had been watching each other for, at least, a good year and a half. And so I would think that they would know my personality, but yeah, so something similar happened. And I'm just like, but it's okay. People come, people go. It's okay. So yeah, this foundation makes me glowy, and those drops, yeah, I don't like it. And yeah, I can see there's a lot of light over here, but not over here. This to me looks like I'm sweating, and I do sweat quite easily since turning 33. I was in CVS before I came because I had another coupon, so I bought some Skittles to bring here with me, and I got Skittles to give, bags of Skittles to give to other people who also like Skittles. And I had on one of my goose down jackets, and y'all, that sucker is heavy. So anyway, and it was cold out, so I'm in the store, and I got a fraud alert phone call, and I finally answered it because I kept getting calls from them, and I don't usually answer, and then they send a text, this case and whatever, and I'm like, okay, that might be a spammer, so I'm not gonna push anything. I'm not gonna answer. And then like by the 3rd time over the course of like 2 days, the number popped up again. And what surprises me is that I do have that number in my contact list because that last time when they called, it showed this is where we're calling from. And I'm just like, oh, so that's what prompted me to answer it. Because I'm like, oh, okay, this is a legit company. And I still was a little skeptical because, the questions as we were going along, What's your address? What's the last four of your phone number and that type of stuff. And at one point I said, I'm not sure if I want to answer that question because there's a lot of spam calls going on and you're asking me for a whole lot of information. And so, but to freeze my account, she said she would have to, she said she couldn't freeze the account without that information to verify who I was, but verify who you are. You know what I'm saying? And another thing that made me feel comfortable, and it could have been a white noise machine in the back, but she did start off saying the call was going to be recorded. And you can tell when a call is recorded because of how it sounds. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to go on the limb and think it's legit. And yeah, it was a credit card that I recently received. Maybe like 3 weeks ago, and I just used it like a week and a half ago. Y'all, it was 4 charges on that account, and I'm just like, no, and it was just really bizarre because like one was for, and they were all for the same day. One was $119, and that's what gave me pause in the beginning because I renewed my Canva. And that's $119.99. So I'm like, okay, that can't be that because that was $119.99. And she's talking about, well, whatever, $119. And then there was another charge for $129. And then there was another charge for $119. And then another one for $129. And I'm like, okay, no. Because I did tell her about the Canva, but that was $119.99. And so I was just like, no. And then she said, then there's a Wawa charge. I said, I definitely use it at Wawa. So I said, you know what, let's just fraud all the other ones. And she said what she thinks happened because the amounts were so close and it was all the same day. She said they might have just kept changing the billing name. And she asked me about Canva, like, does the bill show a different name? I said, I don't know. And she said, well, sometimes companies, the website is one thing, but the billing name is another one. I said, I understand that, and I do know that. And what I'm telling you is that I don't know if they use a different billing name and or what the billing name is. And so, as we kept going, she was like, yeah, I think they just kept changing the billing name because she said for it to be 4 transactions with very same or either very same, either the same or not, 2 for the same amount and 2 other ones close to the amount. She was like, I think they were just, changing the billing name and creating up stuff and creating accounts or whatever. And so, she said that she will put that in. She said, we're going to cancel that card. We'll send you a new one. That's when she needed to verify my address. And I was just like, and she asked me, can I give her the full card number? And I'm just like, and this is when I was still kind of skeptical. And I'm just like, I said, no, I don't have the card number with me because I don't carry that card with me. I said, because if I carry a card with me, I might use it. And so I don't carry it. And so what she said to me also, which I know is also true, she said, you can also lock your card and unlock it before you use it. She said, that's always an option. And I'm like, I heard that before. I said, thank you for letting me know that. And so that's what I'll do when they send the new one. And I was just like, this is crazy. And we know these spams pick up quicker, around the holiday season. And I feel weird saying that because every month is a holiday. Around the Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Christmas season, we know that these spam things increase. And it may have happened at Wawa. And I'm saying that because when I use it at Wawa, because there's also been this thing going around saying, like, don't do the tap method to pay. And I remember that I tapped it, and then I thought, oh, wait, don't do that. And then I inserted the card. So I'm thinking maybe that was it. And that would be kind of weird, too. But that's what I think happened. So they want to send me a new one. And I'm like, Dad, they just sent me that one a couple weeks ago, excuse me. That was a long story. My brows, are they getting along today? I don't think so. Yeah, no. This one is square, this one curves. No, actually this one is square, this one curves. But then the way I do it, it looks square, but it's still like sloping down here, where this one is just square. Okay, here it is. This one is square this way. This one squares off, but it's tilted. Damn, and it don't look right. I don't like to do too much to my brows, but when they're this noticeable to me, and you know, I don't wear glasses, but I do take them off to read when I'm talking to the students. I do put them on so that way I can actually see people's faces. We're gonna leave this like this as far as the shape I say as I do that. Let me know down below if you've had situations of potential fraud abuse. And that is not the first time that that has happened to me. That don't look right. And this has a square point down here. I need to stop because this is taking too long. Feels like my hand is about to start shaking. Yeah, this is just so like, and this one, yeah, y'all see it. I don't need to explain it. So we're just gonna brush up a little brow hair I have, but maybe that'll help. I doubt it because this shape is the shape. And so me fluffing my brows is not gonna change the sharpness of this line and the roundness of that one. It's just not. Because I brushed it, now it looks like there's a blank space right here. See, this is why sometimes I'm just like, girl, just stop. Because the more I do, the more it's like, that ain't it. We're gonna leave it. I do like the shape of this one. I do like the shape of this one. They are just not friends. We're gonna put powder down. Y'all, I am almost done with this Fenty powder. You see where it's at? Well, that's just not even. But yeah, we are getting through this powder. Patting out the concealer. Do I have eye boogers? Where's my lipstick applicators over there? I don't have any sponge tip applicators with me. And I knew I didn't when I packed my makeup. I didn't think I was gonna need them. Cause actually I don't use them that often for my looks. I'm gonna take this brush. I'm gonna coat both sides of the brush. This is a lethal brush. Powder's gonna go in a lot of places. I'm gonna turn it over. I'm gonna press this into the skin. Both sides of the brush, tapping it off, turning it, coming over the nose. So it does take the dewiness down, that glow down, but I'm not quite sure. I like it. It may just be because I'm not used to seeing my face glowy like that unless I'm sweating. So that might be why, for me, I associate glowiness with sweat, because the only time I glow is when I sweat, really. But it's cute, though. I mean, I like it. I like the look, but I'm just unsure. And we still have powders to put on. What I'm doing, I turn the cap upside down, and I'm turning it and tapping it over top of the container of powder, just to get the powder out the cap. Because if not, when I turn the cap upside down and put it on the thing, it'll just go outside of the container. So I need to open up my microfiber cloth right here. I have, oh, here it is. Gonna get powder on the desk here. All right. Hourglass, Lotus, Fox. This one. Open these up. I'm not gonna hold them up. I'll just tell you what I'm using. Actually, I can tell you the shade because I have my labels. Because I didn't want to keep trying to look on the back to be like, okay, what is this? Because y'all know I like to tell y'all what stuff is. So we are going to, oh, we're going to use those two. We're going to take Amethyst Haze from Fox. Amethyst Haze from Fox. I'm going to put that here. This fits really nice in this pan. This brush. I was showing, my roommate walked by the desk and she's like, oh, those are pretty. She's talking about the Hourglass palettes, the outside. I'm like, yeah, I said, I love these. I opened them up. She was like, oh, wow, those are really pretty. I said, these powders are phenomenal. I said, but I said, but they're not inclusive. And she looked at them. She was like, yeah, none of those are going to work for like deep skin. And she's Caucasian. I was like, exactly. And I was pointing out to her which ones are the bronzers. Now we're going to go to Mauve Fusion from Swan. And I was telling her how last year's bronzer was deeper than this year's bronzer. So it's like, we know they can do it. We know they can do it. They just don't want to. And so I said, that's my pet peeve with the brand, but still I use it because y'all, the powders are phenomenal. Phenomenal. So y'all know I like a little subtle gradient, y'all. We're going to use the same brush. We're going to wipe it off. And we're actually going to use Lucid Glow as a bronze light. And that's a blush from Fox. The one I used as a blush light over Canyon Heat in Fox. So this is, it's cute. It's subtle as a highlighter, but it's cute. The highlighter in here, y'all, is like boom, bang, pow. We're not going to do that today. But then maybe I should, just so y'all can see. But y'all already know I did a video using these as part of a look. So, yes, pretty. But, yeah, so that's what that's looking like. So we didn't use anything from Swan. I mean, we didn't use anything from Lotus. And so we're going to put that, we'll put that over here. I don't want to take my cue. Bronzers. Wait a minute, let me see what the bronzer look like in Lotus. I believe Fox has the, oh, we need to do finishing powders too. I mean, yeah, finishing powders. I do really like Desert Light. We're going to take that right now. And hopefully this isn't going to just look like the bronzer. I do like how that, no, this is still has some bronzer in here. When I do this using that Scott Barnes brush at home for bronzer, blush, and highlight, each shade I pick up, that's what it looks like. And it's just like, what? But that's not doing it with this brush. So I have to remember tomorrow to use it, tomorrow to do a different brush. But it's, yeah, do that thing. Bronzer. Natural Bronze. Desert Light is from Fox. We're going to use from Swan Natural Bronze bronzer. Usually I do bronzer first. So this is, I can see it in the mirror down here. It's extremely subtle, and we're blending it into the blush. But you know what? Sometimes though, it is just, you know, just do a little something, something. But yeah, that does piss me off. And when she said it, she's like, yeah, that's not going to work for dark. And I'm like, she gets it. She gets it. She's Caucasian. And she was like, yeah, that's yeah. So this is Natural Bronze from Swan. So we did not use anything from Lotus. And so we'll put Lotus over there. Put the stuff that we're using on this side. So we are going to use the makeup finishing spray from Scandinavia. This one is almost finished. So I brought this one with me. And I do just refill these from the full size bottle that I have. Their largest size is 8 ounces and I love it. I wish they did the makeup removal spray. We're gonna just press this in the 8 ounce. The largest for that one is 4, and I go through that. So this is what our base is looking like. Inner Realms lower lash line. Thank you for being here with me. I will really try to remember to do timestamps. We're gonna put, because we're not going to use the same ones. We have 2 for each palette, but it's 2 that's not going to be used because we're not using 4 palettes because we only have 3 days worth of makeup to do. We're going to take Stay the Night, and these are all matte color excess gel pencil eyeliners. And I kind of want to be a little funky and put this yellow on my lower lash line, but we're not. We're going to take this shade. Yeah, just to give a little pop somewhere. I forgot to put on lip oil. Why y'all didn't remind me? And I'm like, why are my lips dry? I do really feel like when I'm looking at me, I'm looking like way off over there somewhere. But versus more so kind of in the middle. When I'm looking here, hey, there you are. This is when I'm talking to you. Excuse me. I do try to make a point when I am just talking to look at you. So this is blue. We're going to put this here on our inner rims. And so I do feel good today. I did sleep. I slept hard. Because I know I tell you I wake up every 90 minutes. I was watching my Swatch Party live, and I started getting sleepy, so I turned it off. I think it might have been like close to 1 a.m. And when I woke up, that I remember, it was like 10 to 4. So I was like, wow. Took my 4 a.m. med, went back to sleep, and I heard my roommate moving around. And I looked at the clock, it was like 7. And so I have been sleeping close to 3 hours straight, minus the wake up that I don't remember. Because he said everybody wakes up every 90 minutes at the end of the sleep cycle, but most people don't remember. And so that's how I know, like, I was really sleeping. And so I actually do feel okay right now, which is good, because y'all know a lot of times y'all know I got issues. Medical and you know, and y'all know I'm nocturnal, and so I am really thankful for the director allowing me time, because she knows I'm still grieving. And I did have a talk with her yesterday, because I was just like, I was second guessing my decision to be here, and I do want to be here because this is part of me giving back to the community, you know, helping other people. But I said I was already, and I was able to pinpoint like what it was that was kind of setting me off. And it was only setting me off, I think, because my emotions are still raw from the death, you know what I mean? And so I know me, and I know how I get. Just like when I'm not feeling well, if I'm having a bad pain day, like I'm more sensitive to other stuff as far as vibes and auras and just sounds and things like that. And so I explained everything to her, and she was like, and she thanked me for sharing all that with her. And she said after, when she was thinking about it, when she did the schedule, she said, I intentionally, you know, gave you more downtime so that you know, can take care of yourself. Because she did tell me up front, she says, I understand if you don't want to come, you know, for this one, because Academy's like 4 times a year. She said, I totally understand, and it is, you know, okay if you want to sit this one out. However, you know, I would love for you to be here, yada, yada, yada. And I want to be here too, because as I said, it's my way of serving the community. And so I told her I appreciated her doing that. And when I did look at the schedule, like, yeah, she really spaced me out. And so that was really cool. So this morning she was like, well, if you want to, I'm not going to say everything she said, but, and so that's what gave me extra time today, you know, to sleep in a little bit. And so I just really appreciate it. And I was thinking, is this going to be one of the things that I share in the classes? Because I do one of my panels is about self-awareness. And so I was debating, and I think that one's tomorrow. I was thinking of using myself as an example of knowing yourself, knowing how you feel in certain situations. And, you know, because some people get mad. Like, we all heard, you know, you have a bad day at work, you come home and kick the dog. The dog didn't do anything. So how about you just analyze why you feel the way you feel? You acknowledge that it's because it was a rough day at work, and not just, you know, coming home angry and really like, well, I'm just mad because the dog knocked over the trash again. Well, knocked it over again, that means it always does that. Do you always like kick the dog when he knocks over the trash? And so I was debating whether or not to like use myself as an example of, excuse me for that, my throat. Knowing how you are and your patterns of behavior, whether good or not so good, and holding yourself accountable to it. And another person, he knows me very well, even when I don't say anything. He'll just like poke me on my shoulder and just be like, and I'll be like, okay. And so I asked that even if I'm not saying anything, like if he senses or he looks at me and I'm looking a certain way, just to tap me on my shoulder and just be like, Miss Dion, like, do you take a walk? And so that's kind of like our code word. And so yeah, he's my crutch, and he's accepted, and we are really cool. That's my chosen family brother that I used to talk about a lot before, that used to come to the live sometimes. So it's always good to see him. He's on faculty as well. Yeah, so he's my crutch, and he's accepted to be my crutch, because they have seen me go off before during academy, and they're like, yeah, no, we'll help you. and then that goes back to just knowing yourself. So we're going to cut the crease. I do kind of just want to do the lid shades. We'll do the lid shades first because this is going to start to dry. So we're going to take, I know what stuff is. We said we were with the lid. We're going to take Cygnus. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Cygnus, C-Y-G-N-U-S. I really believe I get that from my mom. Like and I didn't realize it until a couple years ago, she'll tell you something or read something and then she'll spell it. Because I used to always wonder, like, why do I really feel like I need to, like, spell stuff out so they know what I'm saying? This is a Fenty 230 brush. It says it's a blending brush, but I use it for a packer brush. The reason the Fenties are in my kit, not my kit, in my brush bag, is because the staining was annoying me to see them, but they are good brushes. And so when I decluttered, I said they're going to go in my brush kit. Not my brush kit, my brush bag, my travel brush bag. They'll always just be in there. All of the brushes is in there, lives in there. I did show it before, like what brushes are in there and why. Because then I don't ever have to be like, oh, take this brush, take that brush, take this brush. Or you need one for this, you need one for that. Everything is in here. I don't have to be concerned with forgetting any particular type of brush. So we are just going a little bit above the transition area. Well, this is the transition area because when we cut it, we're going to come above this line. So we already have our shape. Usually they do the, do some people do the line first? I don't know, do they? I'm trying to think. Oh. But this is how we do our cut crease here. I've never felt the need to use an additional adhesive because this Fenty sticks. It's tacky for me. Different people have won one from me in a giveaway. And one person was saying how they were excited to use it because how I always say it's tacky and the shimmer stick to it, the flaky shades stick to it. And they were like, it wasn't tacky for me. And I'm like, oh, sorry. And then somebody else won one from me and they were like, I love it. They're like, it's tacky for me just like it is for you. And then everything just sticks to it. I don't got to worry about fallout or the shadows not showing up. And that goes back to when I say everything doesn't work for everybody the same way. And for some people, it might not work at all. But yeah, so she was like, I love it. She's like, I see what you mean when you would say, you know, it's tacky and stuff sticks. But the other one was like, it wasn't tacky. It wasn't tacky for me. And I consider my lids just to be regular, like not dry, you know, not oily. But then again, I thought I was tan up until like, you know, 4 or 5 months ago. And so I'm just looking at the shapes of this color. And so, but I was like, wow. Because when we love stuff, we love when other people love it too. And also understanding that everything doesn't work for everybody. So not being offended that the other person was like, it ain't tacky for me. Yeah, it's okay. Everything doesn't work the same for everybody. And not feeling any kind of way or like it's a personal attack because they have a different experience with something. That's how people used to get over Pat McGrath. Some people, the stands. How dare you say you ain't feeling that palette? Excuse me. Well, I see shadows of footsteps under the door as people walking by. I think they're across the hall because they stopped and then I see light, which means they probably have their door open. Weirdest thing, y'all. Oh my gosh. Last night when I was coming up here, I had my keypad, my key thing, and I went to put it on the thing where this is, and then it opens the door. And when I got close to it, I heard click. My roommate had opened the door, and I'm just like, she said, why did you just knock? I'm like, I didn't. I was like, what are you saying? She was like, I heard a knock on the door. And so I looked out, you know, at the people, and I didn't see anybody out there. But then I did see you coming, and so that's why I opened the door. And I'm like, that was weird. I said, that was eerie as hell, because I got close to the thing and then click, click, she opened the door, and I'm like, and she was like, so I'm still standing in the hallway, and she's like, come in. Like, she's like, hurry up and come in. And I'm like, so I went in, and, you know, she closed the door, locked the door. And I'm like, are you for real? She said, yeah, somebody knocked on the door. And she said, maybe someone still walked by and knocked on it, or maybe it was next door. And this is what she did. She said it sounded like, I was like, are you kidding me? She's like, no, for real. I was like, that's, and y'all know I believe stuff like that. And she said, that's why I was telling you, hurry up and come in. I'm like, so you was like, if it is something out there, you don't want to come into the room. But I was just like, are you kidding? She's like, no. She said, I heard. I was like, oh, fuck. So then we started talking about, you know, different things and spiritual things. And I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? And this shade, Cygnus, is described as sparkling foiled anthracite. And I know I said before I don't like her sparkling foils because usually it doesn't show up as a color, but this shows up as a color. So now we are going to cut the crease. We're going to take this brush. This is a Blend Bunny brush number, well, letter and number, a B2. And we're going to go into Night Sky. So we're just going to tap straight in. And I'm going to look up here. And we are going to put this on the top edge. I'm wondering how dark is going to show up since we did go with a darker gray on the lid. So this might not even look like a cut crease. And again, I'm looking up here because the mirror down here is slanted, and yeah, I want to look straight, so I'll make sure I get above that lid shade. Do we want to kind of flick it out? Not flick it out, but yeah, we're going to do that. And we're going to just come down here too. So this is our cut crease. Yo, it's going to be a lot of darkness up here because then, oh no. Yeah, because then he puts a gray black in the crease. And so that's that cut crease. I'm going to attempt to do the same thing on the other side. So let's see. So we came down here towards the tear duct and come above. It's too dark right here. So this seems to be a pretty good group. This side is up higher than the other side, or it's just that this eye is just, well, my eyes are asymmetrical, so I don't know if it's because of that or just what I'm doing. But this right here is farther up for sure than over here. We're gonna bring this up towards the brow. And it does blend into that lid shade, so I probably should have used that lighter shade. When I touch down is where it's like a blob. Just go back and blend in. That's what happened right here. So yeah, we're just gonna come on top. And I see a shadow from this brush on here too. Why did the other side not do this like this? How where I touch it down, it's just like a ball. You know what I'm saying? Because this side is like real smooth. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. And that side is more pointy. Like, what is happening? Let me put some on the side of the brush. See if that makes a difference. And put some down here. We are going to use Black Mirror paint pot. That's the black one. For our upper lash line liner. This I'm gonna make this wider, I think, because this one is like almost to the brow, and my brows are not even either, so there's that. And the other side is looking very dark, like that V that we made, which I like. Yes. Yes. I'm like really trying to get this. I don't want to do too much. The other side is more pointed, but I don't want to create a situation where I keep going back and forth like with the brows. So we're going to do more up here because the other side is higher up. I don't think... Yeah, I really should have put that lighter gray there. So what we're going to do now... I'm going to take this brush. This black is not even. This line right here, the color consistency is not even. Okay, that helped. Doing it on the side of the brush instead of the tip of the brush. And so this is our cut crease. I will admit that it is quicker and easier to do it the other way, to cut the crease than to not cut it, because it takes less time. I've never done it, but just seeing people do it, like they're just like zip, zip, whoop, whoop, and I'm just still here like trying to get the shape. I'm gonna take this brush. Do we want to take this brush? And what we're gonna do, we're going to take this, and y'all know I don't like a lot of light up there, so he took a gray black for the cut crease. Well, in the crease, he said, in the crease and lower lash line. So we will put this here. This is the crease. So we're putting it actually above, in the crease and above the crease. We're not putting it on the lid. So actually this is good. This is making, that might be housekeeping. It's bringing out the lid shade. Yeah, that's housekeeping. I have the thing, the door stopper on, so if they try to come in, it ain't gonna work. But or maybe I shouldn't, because we do need fresh towels, and so that's that. We're going to, I don't know about this. We're not. Yeah, that's housekeeping. I hear her trash bag. It was like, it's like a crinkling sound. We're gonna wipe this brush off, and we're just gonna feather this. I'm gonna feather this a little bit. Even though cut crease is a harsh look. Oh, that's nice. And I've done some accidentally before, and people are like, yeah, no. But I'm like, but it looks like a cut crease. It looks like it's I mean, it's a thing. This is nice. So we're just feathering out that shade. So we're not blending the lower line of this cut crease shade. We're feathering out the top of the line. That's nice. I like it. It's cute. What are we gonna do now? Also, what do you have in the crease and lower lash line? So we're gonna take the same brush, and we're gonna tap straight into that one. We're gonna put that under here, top of the pink. I'm gonna use the side of the brush. Yeah, that's housekeeping. She's across the hall, or he across the hall. So we're gonna put this under here. This is pretty. It's not too often that I see looks that I'm inspired by and I do it. Some of Natasha's looks that are on like Sephora and on her website, you know, I'll screenshot it and be like, oh, I'll do it. I never do them. And so maybe it's because this is the love of my life that I'm like, I'm gonna try that. And I did have this palette laid out to bring with me. So when I saw the look, I'm like, yeah, that's what we're gonna do with that. And I do have composed cools at home, but as I said, that was not on my list to bring. It was Xenon, because I haven't used Xenon in a while. That's nice. Oh, I just realized, no teary-eye today. I don't have any fall, do I? I have a little bit, but it's blending in with the highlighter. What's the next thing? A white under our brow. So we're wiping off this brush. We're gonna go into this one. This one is Stellar. This one is Crew, G-R-E-U, and that one is described as Sparkling Metallic Iron Gray. This one here, Stellar, is described as, where you at? Sparkling Wet Effect White. We're gonna see, we're only gonna put it right here. That's all, just right here. That space right there. Yeah, so that's that. It is right there, right there. That's it, that's it. That's it. Then what did he do? Oh, and he also put that white on the lid. We did not use this brush, so we're gonna put that over here to just put that back home. We're gonna wipe this brush off. And we are gonna put this just on the mobile lid. So this is just to add some shine, of course. So just the mobile lid, just gonna go straight across. This has a serious dip in that shadow. Do y'all see? It's a soft shade. It is. It's not that I used it more than anything else in here. And y'all probably looking at like, yeah, we know you wouldn't use that shade above all else in here. So we're just putting this on the lid. And that's the look. I'm gonna put this away. I do have some fallout, but it is blending in with highlighter. We're going to take Black Mirror from MAC. This is their paint pot, which is designed to be a shadow base. The fluid lines are designed to be eyeliners, but I use them interchangeably. And so we're going to put this on our upper lash line. Y'all know I'm gonna have to do a black lip, right? This is a nice look, I think. I'm gonna do the other side up top and then backtrack and do the wings. That's pretty. Thank you for being here, y'all. That was so eerie though. She heard a knock on the door. And she said she was looking out the peephole and she didn't see anybody. And then she saw me coming down the hall. I was like, because she said when she heard it, she thought, why would Dion knock? Unless she forgot her key. I'm like, that was not me. And she knew it wasn't me because when she looked out there, she didn't see anybody. And then she saw me coming down the hall. So she knew I didn't knock. She knew it wasn't me. But I said, that's some eerie shit. And she knocked on the desk. This is what it heard. Boom, boom, boom. I was like, fuck, are you kidding? She's like, no, for real. I'm like, damn. I was like, that's some eerie shit. And because I do believe in certain things, I was just like, oh no. And I don't even do sage or anything. I'm like, do I need to go find some sage and burn it here? I was like, what? I was like, man. Yeah, she was like, that's why I was saying, hurry up and come in, hurry up and come in. Because when she told me, I just stood there and I'm like, what? I'm like, what? She's like, hurry up and come in, hurry up and come in. Oh, man. And so we have our wings that are looking even. I think we nailed it, Janessa. For 2024, we made a pact that we were going to perfect our wings, meaning get them straight. And for 2025, we extended that pack and we added on doing different shapes with eyeshadow. If you want to say this cut crease is a different shape for eyeshadow, you know, I'll accept that. But I really haven't done too many like different shape type things that I remember. So I think, yeah, apparently I did forget that. I did have Mood Light. I was going to put all over. Do I still want to do that? No, because that's going to add more glow and more shine. Yeah, let's do it. No, because then I got to take out another brush. We're not going to use that, so we're going to put that over with Lotus. We're going to do our lashes, and then we're going to do a black lip. You know that. We might tap that first shade. This liner up here is thicker than this one. I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna do anything with that. Might tap that first lid shade on the lip. Lancome Soul's Booster XL Mascara Base. Mascara Primer. Y'all, I don't even know if I should say. I'm not going to say it. I do feel good being here. It's just my emotions are still raw. And I told the director too, I said, because I'm usually home alone, you know, it's just me. And so now being around like a crowd of people, I think there's 13 students and maybe altogether, I'm not counting, but probably at least 10 faculty or more. So just, you know, being around people, but the faculty, like, we're all cool. So if I'm picking up anything out of the usual, and we know each other's personalities. So if I'm feeling something, like, I'm like, okay, that's that person. I do not say I'm an empath. I don't. But I do pick up stuff, and I am sensitive that way. Just like my skin is sensitive. Like, I'm spiritually sensitive too. Sometimes more so than others. And when my emotions are raw, it's on 100. This was Tower 28, the brown Beyond Mascara. I'm gonna put this on upper lash line. So just being, and I've been like in the mall and things like that, but when you're in the mall or a grocery store and it's crowded, you're not interacting with those people. But here, everything is based on interaction. So yeah, and not just students with the faculty, but even students with each other. You know what I mean? But yeah, yesterday, yeah, I had told my chosen family brother, I said, I need to go. So I'm going back up to the room. And we still had time before dinner, so we were just kind of like hanging out. And there were a few other there were some students down there hanging out and just chit-chatting. And I was like, I cannot, because I know how I am. And I started to just feel like, I started feeling agitated. And again, it's not them, it's just how I'm more sensitive. And so certain things, and I do know for the most part what my triggers are. So certain things just triggers for me. And then I thought I need to have a talk with the director. Lipstick applicator. And so I text my chosen family brother. I said, I'm thinking about having a talk with so-and-so. He said, yeah, I think you should. Or that would be a good idea or something, he said. And so I sat here for a few moments, got my stuff together, and went back down. And I was like, can I talk to you? Sure. So we sat and talked. And she was like, thank you so much for like letting me know. And, you know, is there anything I can do? This is Suede Matte Lip Liner from NYX. They don't make the Suede Matte Lip line anymore. Now their lip liners are, I don't have one to show you. I have my own. They're called something else. But this one is Alien and it's black. And y'all know, I don't even really line my lips. I know this is long. If you've been here the entire time, thank you. If you've skipped, I still thank you for being here and spending some time here. So I do think today is gonna be interesting. I am gonna take advantage of the downtime that the director gave me. A couple of the students already came up to me saying they would like to talk to me later. And so I know that's going to be mental energy that I need for that. Do I want to fill in too? No. We're not going to fill in. Or maybe I'll put the red on top of it, or I can put this gloss on top of it. That's pretty too. So we did bring, you'll see that before this. I did an unpacking. This is, I wrote it on it. No, I didn't. Caviar. This one is High Drama. High Drama is described as deep dark plum. You know what? I need to compare that to, Tragic, that warm eggplant. And see how close they are. I didn't bring that with me. This is my favorite liquid lipstick formula. Hands down. And I wish they had more dark shades. Of course, the black is the darkest. This is the next darkest. Y'all see how easy that was? How easy and quick? Then I used the tip to go along my lip line. Oh, man. I think I'm gonna tap that shadow on it. This, yeah, I'm gonna just tap that shadow on top of it. So we're going back in here to, this was the first lip shade. We're gonna take that one. So we're just gonna make it look a little bit shiny. It's just gonna make it look a little bit shiny. Oh, excuse me, I don't know what I'm saying. So we're going to, oh, look at that. Look at that. So shadow, a sparkling gray. What is it described as again? Let me tell you. Sparkling foiled anthracite. Yeah, this shade. I like this. Excuse me. I didn't do the intro. Did I curse in this video? I know you're laughing, Michelle. And I'm like, I didn't do the intro, I'm not gonna curse. Or if I curse, I'm like, oh, I didn't do the intro. And that's because talking about, well, saying I curse sometimes because I curse, that's one of the 2 tidbits I say at the end of the intro. And the other one is about the organism in my throat. Oh, that's pretty. Damn, that's pretty. All right, y'all, this is the look. Thank you for being here. We are gonna go because I got to go. And yeah, let me know down below whatever questions I ask you throughout the video. I like the shapes. I like the shapes. I do. So this is my cut crease using Natasha Denona Xenon palette. So we're gonna go. Thank you. Stuff is popping up over here for you to watch, and you will see me soon.